Hey guys, what's going on? We got Jake's Reviews coming at you with a review for Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Deluxe Class Sideswipe. He's an Autobot, and he's a Corvette Stingray concept car. It's very sleek and streamlined looking. He's mostly silver, but he's got this blue windshields, which I don't think is true to reality, but I suppose we'll see. The alt mode and the paint is very cool, but it's rather basic. There's not a whole lot of apps on it. He's got the red tail lights, which is you can see right there, which is really nice. Pretty interesting details. You know, he's got all the little pegs on the hubcap of the tires and little notches and everything like that, and the tires are really well detailed and everything. These are made of little soft plastic, and I feel like they're really easy to pop off, but they haven't yet. You know, you got headlights, but the paint is just basic. You know, there's a lot of detail in it, but the paint seems to just be rather basic, which is unfortunate. It's nice paint though. It's very nice paint. It's all very solid. It doesn't seem to be scratching or fading at all. It's even. There's no smudging or anything like that. So pretty good paint all around on the robot mode as well. He rolls really well, but he suffers from having robot parts. Usually back here, it appears to be this little piece right there. Seems to be the culprit. Or maybe these pieces here. Robot parts are dragging along the ground while he's actually rolling, so you get that noise as opposed to just the even sort of wheel rolling noise. I learned that his wheels kind of get stuck in his whole little scissor. When his arms are put together, they get kind of stuck in this little thing, so they don't roll very well. The back legs, the front legs roll just fine. As you can see, you kind of see the difference. You can even hear it. Like it just gets stuck, and then there's a lot of friction there, which is a problem. But overall, it's a pretty solid alt mode, and a very cool looking one at that. Down to his transformation. His transformation is odd because it looks a lot more complicated than it actually is. Like I think Vangela said, you feel like you're doing a lot more. Like you look at his instruction sheet and you look at the difference between the vehicle and the robot modes, and you just think that it's going to be ridiculously complicated, but it ends up being rather simple and easy to learn and easy to remember. So the first thing I do is I pop off his arms right here, which takes this whole piece, the whole side of the car. Let's try to zoom out here, get a better view. The whole side of the car, on both sides. And you just kind of adjust them, just leave them sitting like that. Even farther view probably would be better. Then I usually pop apart the front of the car, which is a pretty simple process. Detach the very fronts here. This whole piece is his foot, so that all comes off. And they both come off usually at the same time. You fold them down, like so. And then, his elbow doesn't seem to be working. There we go. And then, basically, kind of split this apart here, just to get it out of the way, make it easier. Bring his whole, pop this piece out so that it just kind of hinges like that, and then bring his whole chest down, lift up the sort of trunk piece and fold it back. Swing his chest down all the way and peg it in, and when you do that, Sideswipe's head pops up. Very cool looking head, by the way. Get his little wing sort of thing out of the way here. Fold down his hands. It's a pretty simple process. I broke off one of Sideswipe's thumbs. I don't know if you can see the glue. I broke it off on accident. They're very delicate and very small, so be careful with his thumbs if you're fiddling with his hands, as I was. The chest tab doesn't stay in very well. It feels like there should be another peg, and if you kind of put your thumb on his crotch, which is a little inappropriate, and push up and just squeeze for a second, squeeze on his crotch, it ends up holding a little more securely. To form his feet, a little close-up view here, rotate like so, fold this down and then this down. They kind of hook up. They don't actually peg together, but they do kind of stay together rather nicely, and then fold the heel back. So you get his wheel feet, which I will explain later as to how I feel about the wheel feet. Once again, his chest came unplugged just then. So his backpack, I'm sorry about that, third camera. His backpack, kind of your prerogative. But what I do, I turn him up like this, I fold him up, and then back down again, up, back down again, and then peg them together as if they were the front of the car. And it gives him a pretty compact see, pretty compact sort of backpack there. And ends up working pretty well for him. I think it looks pretty good. And then you basically just kind of adjust everything, fiddle. And there you have Revenge of the Fallen Deluxe Sideswipe. Get him to stand up in robot mode. There you go. That's the best I can do. So his robot mode is just as sleek and just as streamlined as his vehicle mode. All the same silver paint, all of the sort of smooth lines, and he just looks quick. His head is sort of frayed back like that, looking as though he's like going through the air, which is cool. All of his design just looks like he would be really, really, really fast. So let's talk about his wheel feet now. They can be pretty rage-inducing sometimes. Usually the configuration seems to be you fold them up as far as you can and then have him sort of stand back on them, and that works. But if you don't really get it right, it just takes a lot of like this, no, that, no. It takes a little bit of fiddling to get him to stand. But once you do, he looks great. His articulation is weird. It looks like it would be really good, and it looks like it should be really good, but it has a lot of problems. His arms are restricted a lot by his chest piece here, and they only go about there, and his shoulders can't really... His shoulders can rotate, but they have to rotate at sort of an angle to get away from his chest. His elbows don't rotate or anything. They do bend. They are double jointed, which is nice. He has no wrist swivel. His legs are interesting, because he's got these cool leg sort of hip joint things where there's a clear plastic ball. Can't really get an angle where you can see him. There's a clear plastic ball in there, but it looks like they're held on by these 4 pegs, which is cool. However, he can get up to there. He can go out. His hips are pretty good. His hips are really good. His knees only bend, and so that's kind of disappointing. And this is all one solid piece of plastic. His Mech Alive is when you push his knee, the little panels slide out, which is cool. A little silly, but it does get the hydraulics, which is kind of neat, I suppose. So his articulation is okay. It's not as good as you thought it was. His head's on a restricted ball joint. You wish it could be a lot better because he could do a lot more dynamic poses. He's got his arm blades here, which are awesome. They're geared together so that when you move one, the other one moves with it, which will prevent them from getting loose over time, which is very nice. And his arm blades just look really, really, really slick and really cool. I really like them a lot. It's a really good sort of addition to his character. Way to go, Michael Bay. So you can get pretty cool poses out of this guy, despite his little articulation shortcomings. You know, you can kind of get him in sort of a skating sort of pose. You can have him down on one thing, like he's sort of turning, doing a side swipe maybe. Oh, the puns. They're back. Got a new camera, but you can't get rid of the puns. Basically, getting kind of high on time here, I'm just like ransacked, but he's an awesome looking figure. He's pretty solid. He could have used a little bit more time on the drawing board, though. I feel like there could have been a little more engineering. The transformation engineering is awesome, but the actual robot mode engineering could have been done a little bit better. You know, maybe a couple more swivels and a couple more ball joints, and maybe it would have been better. I'm not exactly sure, but I feel like he could have been awesome, and he's just good. Like, it's a little bit disappointing almost, which is unfortunate with the figure from a line that so far is just so great. Hopefully, Human Alliance Sideswipe will fix all the problems with this Sideswipe, just like Human Alliance Bumblebee appears to have fixed a lot of the problems with the Bumblebee mold. So, this has been Jake's Reviews, coming at your review for Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Deluxe Class Sideswipe. Thanks for watching, guys.